WWE icon John Cena announces his retirement from the company, saying that 2025 will be his last year as a wrestler inside the squared circle for WWE. Damian Priest retains the World Heavyweight Championship after CM Punk once again cost Drew McIntyre the world title after the Scottish Warrior won the men's Money in the Bank ladder match earlier on the evening and cashed in his contract during the match between Priest and Seth Rollins. Solo Sikoa, he has pinned Cody Rhodes, the undisputed WWE Champion, in a match which featured the in-ring WWE debut of Jacob Fatu. Tiffany Stratton, she won the women's Money in the Bank ladder match last night. Sami Zayn is still the Intercontinental Champion after defeating Bron Breakker, and Bad Blood is set to return later on this year. Hey guys, welcome back to Wrestling News 365. Hope everyone is doing very well. As always, plenty of news stories to get into in the world of professional wrestling. Let's start off with the big bombshell news coming out of Money in the Bank last night, and that is the impending retirement of 16-time WWE Champion John Cena. Now, Cena made a surprise appearance at Money in the Bank, confirming rumors from earlier on in the day, announcing that his time for retirement was now, sending the crowd in Toronto into frenzy, wrought with no chance, as well as thank you, Cena. Now, carrying a towel that slightly altered his trademark "My time is now" catchphrase to say the last time is now, Cena's shirt, which read John Cena Farewell Tour, hinted at what he would soon make clear, that this wasn't an imminent goodbye, but seemingly a slow progression that would include plenty of laughs. Now, after praising Canadian WWE fans for being some of the most dedicated in the world, the greatest of all time made it clear that he wanted to be there when WWE makes history, debuting Raw on Netflix in January. But also, he stated that the 2025 Royal Rumble would be his last. He then said the same for the 2025 Elimination Chamber, that it would be his last, as well as WrestleMania 41 in Las Vegas, confirming that would be his last WrestleMania. While it initially seemed as though Cena would hang up his wrestling sneakers for good after WrestleMania, he clarified at the post-show press conference that this is more of a retirement tour, and actually he's still going to be wrestling several matches in WWE next year. We can get into these details right now. Now, John Cena explained more specifics regarding his expected upcoming schedule in 2025, actually revealing a heavy tour schedule for his retirement tour. Now, Cena revealed in the post-Money in the Bank press conference the following, saying, quote, "It's not going to end at WrestleMania. WrestleMania will be my last WrestleMania, but hopefully, if everything goes according to plan, we're going straight through from January to December. We're going to try and do a long list of dates. I think right now, tentatively, it's hovering in the mid-30s to 40s because I'm still going to try and juggle a lot of stuff that's going on, and that'll be the end of my in-ring competition." Now, part of this business plan that I proposed and they accepted, thank you they, was remaining in the WWE family in some capacity for an extended time to come. I've always said to the audience that WWE is my home and I love it. And just because I physically feel I'm at my end doesn't mean I need to distance myself from something I love. I have passion for this business. I still watch Money in the Bank and yell at the screen and yell at the guys for what they're doing or what they could be doing. So I feel I have some wisdom locked up here that could be of some value. So I look forward to ending my participation in the ring in the best way that I possibly can and being a member of the extended WWE family for quite some time to come. Now, some more details as to really why this is happening. When asked regarding why now on his retirement, Cena said, quote, "The answer is because it's not up to me. Again, I approached the WWE with this idea and they kind of initiated the talks that this would be a great span of time if we were ever going to do it. This is no thanks to me, but the business is at an incredible heights in popularity and awareness. There are some really big things going on, especially the Netflix debut, which is very important. And I take pride in still being an individual that WWE can call up and say, hey, remember that idea you were talking about? We think the time is now." So that really warmed my heart. That not only did my thought resonate of let's do something that we can bring all of us together, all of us can bond and have this excitement, and they will write the stories and we will execute the best we can, but I'm flattered that I was asked to be a part of something like this. Now, as I mentioned, he did confirm he's not ending up at WrestleMania and that he is going to have a span of in-ring competition dates from January to December of 2025. But he does intend to remain in the WWE family somehow, some way. Now, we've seen his retirement, and with all of these dates coming up next year, many have wondered, are we going to see for the last time Cena face off against one of his greatest ever rivals, that being CM Punk? Of course, Punk was at Money in the Bank last night, and looks like Punk, he's open to the idea. Now, in the Money in the Bank post-show press conference, CM Punk was asked what his thoughts were on John Cena announcing his retirement. CM Punk said about his response to the announcement, saying, quote, "I texted him right away and I said, don't leave before you say hi to me. And he texted back, haha, have a good one tonight. And I immediately took that as, piss off, I'm leaving. So I know he's busy. He's filming Peacemaker, so I figured he was leaving right away. I was pleasantly surprised to run into him afterwards, and I told him I'll be the guy that drags him out of retirement. This retirement, he says he's going to adhere to, and this is it. When the final one happens, that's going to be it. Like, yeah, 15 years, I'll drag him out of retirement." But Cena, I think, to my career means a lot. I don't think there's many people up there in that rare air where if you talk about my career, I feel you have to talk about John. And it makes me feel proud that I think if you talk about John's career, I think you have to talk about me. We're married in that respect. Proud of him. He gets to go out on his own terms. I know that's important. I'm looking forward to what he does, and I told him that if it's going to be one more time, we got to do it at least one more time. So Punk wants it, and possibly Cena wants it as well. Now, speaking of CM Punk, he was very active last night at Money in the Bank, because 90 days after he cashed in his Money in the Bank contract and became the World Heavyweight Champion, Damian Priest sought to defend his title against the man who held it first, Seth freaking Rollins. By the time, though, the dust had cleared, Drew McIntyre was laid out on the ground, now briefcase-less. Priest was walking out with his title, and Rollins was hurling insult after insult towards the man on the announce table, that being CM Punk. Now, in the opening tides of this match, Priest and Rollins were gridlocked. For every punch Priest threw, Rollins had a new springboard move to answer. Throughout the entire match, however, the threat of McIntyre, the then Mr. Money in the Bank, who won the ladder match in the opening match of the show, loomed over both men. And Priest hesitated on his offense more than once to nervously exchange glances at the ramp. In the match's final act, though, things got a little bit sideways. Rollins landed a Falcon Arrow on Priest. For a moment, it seemed as if McIntyre had no intentions of a same-night cashing after all, because Priest didn't really kick out of Rollins' offense, and there was a lot of confusion as to why the referee didn't count the 1, 2, 3. Suddenly, amidst all this confusion, very quickly, Drew McIntyre's music blared through the Scotiabank Arena speakers. McIntyre marched down the ramp to cash in his Money in the Bank contract, and the match was quickly made into a triple threat contest. But then things got very interesting. Rollins and McIntyre locked up nearly immediately in a rehash of their WrestleMania bouts. Rollins attempted to deliver a stomp, but McIntyre answered with a Future Shock DDT. The following Claymore attempt was interrupted by a clothesline from Priest, and just as McIntyre resurfaced, Toronto went wild for a returning CM Punk. Punk drove McIntyre out of the ring and beat the Scot out of the ring because, of course, the match was not stopped, as triple threat matches are no disqualification bouts by default. McIntyre retreated back onto the ropes. Punk followed, but not before taking the World Heavyweight Championship title to strike McIntyre with. Priest then capitalized on the interference to pin McIntyre and retain the title. Things then got again heated, shall we say, after the bout. The segment closed with Corey Graves doing his best to hold back an irate Seth Rollins, who wasted no time in verbally targeting Punk. Punk merely sat satisfied with his work with a sleeve on his injured tricep. With this interference, Punk simultaneously continued his rivalry with McIntyre and seemingly revived his old feud with Rollins. Rollins and Punk, of course, were originally supposed to headline WrestleMania 40 Night 1 before Punk was taken out with a triceps injury at Royal Rumble earlier this year. As of this recording, there is currently no information as to Punk's more immediate plans and whether he intends to deal with McIntyre and Rollins simultaneously. Now, I mentioned the Falcon Arrow spot and the botch that was involved in that because things went a bit sideways, as I mentioned, and Triple H addressed this in the Money in the Bank post-show press conference. Now, as I said, during the PLE last night, it seemed as though Damian Priest was meant to kick out from a Seth Rollins pinfall, but did not, leading to the referee stopping the count at 2 despite no movement from Priest. It also seems like it may have possibly been related to a production delay in playing Drew McIntyre's music for the Money in the Bank run-in. During the post-show press conference, Triple H said of the moment, quote, "Human beings in a ring, mistakes happen, things happen. It is what it is. It's funny for me now looking at that. If that was something that I was involved in as a talent, I don't care how good the rest of it was, that would be all I would think about. And to me, it's a shame that's all people will talk about, and that's all people will hit Damian Priest with, while he had a phenomenal performance tonight. But a bunch of people will attack that, criticize that, and comment on that. I don't know why. That's just the negative so outweighs the positive sometimes. And to me, I wish I could just go in the back, shut off his phone, have no one talk to him for a while, and just have him think about all the other great stuff that happened in that, and the role that he's been on, and how great of a job he's done as world champion. And what he's done to get there and deserve it, because he deserves all the credit in the world for all those things. And he has stepped up to a place where when you see him as a performer now, I feel like I'm watching a champion come out. I feel like I'm watching a top tier guy. That's on him. That's how he's handled himself and made himself own that position. He's done an incredible job of it. I'm incredibly proud of him as a performer late in his career, right, to get to this level, something that no one thought he would ever be able to do. He's got himself in incredible shape, done an unbelievable job. I hate for it to be like, oh yeah, you're that guy that didn't kick out that one time. That's the shame part to me, because his performance tonight was off the charts, as was Steph's, as was Drew's, as was Punk's, as was everybody else in this show tonight. It's just the way the world works. So what do you think about that kick up that didn't happen? Was it a botch from Priest? Was it a botch from the production truck? What are your thoughts, Net? Let me know in the comment section below. Now, CM Punk, as I mentioned, he was active on the show, and there were some rumors earlier on in the day about AJ Lee possibly returning. Of course, we know that didn't happen, but Punk was asked once again about the possibility of his wife returning to the company prior to her retirement back in 2015. Punk said, quote, "I don't want to fall in the trap of saying never say never. I don't want to give people false hope. I will also not put words in her mouth and say, I think this could happen. I think this is a brave new world, and I don't think a lot of people thought I was going to show up. It's really all on her. She's busy. I'm super proud of her. She's doing her own thing. She's got I don't even know if I'm allowed to talk about this stuff. She's got a production company started up. She's writing TV, movies, all kinds of stuff. And laughably, I always say I'm a bad husband because I never know what project she's talking about. Oh, I have a meeting, and I'm like, with who? Is it Netflix? Is it Hulu? Is it CBS? I don't know. She's got so many irons in so many different fires. I will say, as a fan of hers, I would love to see it. Do you think we'll ever see AJ Lee return to WWE? Let me know your thoughts about that one too. Now, Solo Sikoa, he is the head of the table and seemingly the number one contender for the undisputed WWE Championship. That's because he pinned Cody Rhodes last night. Solo Sikoa scored his first victory as the new tribal chief of the Bloodline in a six-man tag team match at Money in the Bank, pinning undisputed WWE Champion Cody Rhodes with the help of Tama Tonga, Jacob Fatu, and Tonga Loa on the outside. Fatu made his dominant presence known in his first match inside of a WWE ring, helping the Bloodline defeat Rhodes, Randy Orton, and Kevin Owens in the main event. Rhodes and Tonga started off the match before Owens and Orton tagged in to get their shots as well. Fatu tagged in and Orton immediately hit his signature DDT on him, but Fatu no-sold it. Orton went to hit an RKO but realized Fatu was right behind him and walked into a Samoan drop. The teams went back and forth inside of the ring and outside of it, with Loa often interfering from the outside. Rhodes hit a Cody cutter to Tonga at one point, and then two suicide dives on opposite sides of the ring to Sikoa and Loa. The referee was knocked down at one point, giving Rhodes an opportunity to clear off the announce table. Owens and Orton tried to get Sikoa up to drop him through the desk, but Fatu interfered and knocked the referee down once more into the steel steps. At one point, everyone was knocked down outside of the ring. Fatu and Owens got up, and Owens hit the Bloodline member with a giant prime bottle at ringside. Owens got on the top of the barricade and sent Fatu through the announce desk. He got Tonga back in the ring, but was hit by a low blow from Loa. Orton hit Loa with an RKO, and then another to Tama Tonga, but was caught by Sikoa with a Samoan spike. Rhodes was back in the ring and hit two crossroads to Sikoa, but the third attempt was broken up by Fatu. Fatu then hit an implant DDT, then lifted Sikoa to his feet before holding up Rhodes so the tribal chief could deliver a Samoan spike to the champion. Fatu then rolled the official back in the ring, and Sikoa pinned Rhodes for the victory. The expectation now is that most likely it's going to be Sikoa versus Rhodes at SummerSlam for the undisputed WWE Championship. Now, Tiffany Stratton is Miss Money in the Bank. Tiffany Stratton took one step closer to becoming the WWE Women's Champion as she captured the Money in the Bank briefcase during Saturday's PLE. Stratton overcame an impressive field of women: Naomi, Zoe Stark, Lyra Valkyria, Io Sky and Chelsea Green, finally stealing the moment away from Green with a brutal table bump to unclasp the briefcase. The ladder match saw plenty of would-be moments for each competitor, though the story told throughout the match was that Green's struggle with her fear of heights was something that was holding her back. She struck up a brief partnership with Stratton while wrestling with her fear, but as alliances in wrestling typically go, it was a means to an end, and the pair ended up having the final struggle for the contract. Green sought to win the bout, seemingly unchallenged, but found herself opposed by Stratton atop a parallel ladder. Stratton then pushed her opponent over, ladder and all, sending her crashing through a pair of tables set up on the outside of the ring. Stratton will now have the opportunity to cash in her Money in the Bank contract over the next 365 days on either the WWE Women's World Championship, currently held by Liv Morgan, or the WWE Women's Championship held by Bayley. She also confronted Money in the Bank host Trish Stratus backstage following her victory. When she does cash in, Stratton will surely hope to have a better time of it than the winner of the men's Money in the Money in the Bank ladder match earlier on in the evening, Drew McIntyre. Sami Zayn surprisingly retained the Intercontinental Championship last night too against Bron Breakker. Now, Breakker had been angry since Raw General Manager Adam Pearce didn't put him in the King of the Ring tournament and fought his way to a championship match in Toronto, Ontario, Canada, only to earn his first pinfall defeat on the main roster since being called up from NXT back at the 2024 Royal Rumble. Breakker started off the match in control, but Zayn was able to hit an Arabian press to Breakker from the apron after getting his opponent outside of the ring. Zayn gained control, but Breakker ran the ropes at top speed and hit a big clothesline on the champion. The pair fought both in and outside of the ring before Zayn hit a blue thunder bomb, but Breakker kicked out. Breakker hit a Frankensteiner, but Zayn then kicked out once again. Back outside of the ring, Breakker ran around the ring in an attempt to hit a spear, but Zayn leapfrogged over him. Breakker almost ran right into the ring steps but caught himself and bounced Zayn off the announce desk before hitting a flying clothesline from the ring apron to Zayn on the desk. Breakker attempted a gorilla press to Zayn back in the ring, but Zayn countered and hit an exploder in the corner. Breakker blocked a haluva kick and then hit a gorilla press. Zayn was able to get back on his feet and countered a spear with a kick, stunning Breakker. Zayn then hit a haluva kick and pinned Breakker to retain his Intercontinental title. And finally, earlier on in the day, we heard a classic PLE is returning. For weeks, there have been reports of WWE bringing back the classic PLE event Bad Blood, with plans to run the show in Atlanta on October 5. Now those reports have been confirmed in a teaser trailer for the event posted to social media by Atlanta-based music producer Metro Boomin. The teaser features Metro in a car with undisputed WWE champion Cody Rhodes staking out the State Farm Arena ahead of the event. Originally stylized as Bad Blood in Your House, Bad Blood debuted in 1997 and featured the first ever Hell in a Cell match between The Undertaker and Shawn Michaels. The cage stipulation match became a staple for Bad Blood events in 2003 and 2004, with Triple H facing Kevin Nash and Shawn Michaels respectively inside a Hell in a Cell. The 2004 show was the final Bad Blood until this year. The new version presumably looks to fill the void left by Hell in a Cell, the namesake PLE, which was dropped from the schedule after 2022, though the last two Hell in a Cell events took place in June instead of what had been its regular October spot on the calendar. WWE's October PLE has changed every year since then, with the slot being filled by Crown Jewel in 2021, Extreme Rules in 2022, and Fastlane in 2023. The announcement has led to immediate speculation about who could be competing inside Hell in a Cell at the event, with guesses ranging from Cody Rhodes to Randy Orton, to Rhea Ripley versus Liv Morgan, to Solo Sikoa versus Roman Reigns. There's also widespread optimism that WWE is loosening its restrictions on blood could result in the match returning to something resembling its gory roots. But there you go, guys. The latest pro wrestling news for you. Be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe bottom right hand corner. As always, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and I'll speak to you again very, very soon.
Hey guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming, or coming across this video today. Be sure to click on the video on the right there to watch our next video, or click the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.